Essay 1 is your first assignment. The instructions say print this page, study it, and begin work on Essay 1 this week, which would be the first week, right? Why print it? Because ordinarily when you get an assignment sheet in college, the first thing that you need to do is read the whole thing, have a pen or a highlighter in your hand, you underline or highlight important things, you write important notes off to the side. If there's anything that's not quite clear to you, you don't understand some of the words or exactly what's being asked, you jot down notes to the side. This is okay. So, number 1, yes, print this out. Study it with a pen in your hand, a highlighter in your hand, mark it up. Okay, minimum length is 1,200 words. This is in the neighborhood of 4 pages long, double-spaced Times New Roman 12-point font, which is what you should always be using in formal papers, especially if your instructor has told you, double-space it and use Times New Roman 12-point font. That makes it a good idea. Okay, there's no maximum length, so you can go over. Will going over necessarily mean you get an A? No. I've seen lots of papers longer than I assigned that were very difficult to read and didn't make any sense or were extremely repetitive, and no, that doesn't make for an excellent paper. But if you have 1,500 words and it's all clear and interesting and detailed and inviting, then that's going to make it a good paper. Okay, topic. This is what you're supposed to answer. How does college help you achieve your career goal? Why do I ask this question? You're a college student, and I have a theory that you're here because you have a career goal that college is supposed to help you with. So this should be right there in your wheelhouse, I am hoping. Unless, of course, you're one of those students who is in college because somebody told you to be. And if that's the case, then I suppose that is a way of going about this. An essay has to have an introduction, body, and a conclusion, and this essay needs sources. Minimally means you need at least what it says here and all of that. More may be added, meaning you can have other stuff, but you can't have other stuff in substitution. Okay, so number 1, you need an interview with an SEP counselor. You need to plan this ahead, you need to get an appointment, and you need to prepare questions. You're going to use that as a source, and that means you're going to use that person's name, and you're going to tell your readers something about what that person said and something about that experience as part of your paper. You need at least 2 current job ads for jobs you would like to have in your field. Warning, you might want a job, let's say you want to be a 10th grade math teacher, and you go looking for current job ads, and you find that there aren't any. Well, of course there aren't any, because teachers start work in August or September, and the job ads, they all go out at the same time. So you may not be able to find something in Fresno for exactly what you want to do on exactly the day you look for it. So search across the globe, not just at home, and you do that so that you can find the ad. And it doesn't matter where it is, because most jobs are the same. They say the same things. They have the same duties, they have the same qualifications. It doesn't matter where they are in North America, maybe even in Italy, they're the same. So you just need a job ad that's for a job that you would like to have. Okay, actually need 2 of them, so you're going to compare them in this paper. That's going to be part of the paper. You need also at least 2 college or university programs where you can earn your qualifications for the jobs you would like. So if your job is 10th grade math teacher, you have to have a bachelor's degree for that. And Fresno City College doesn't offer bachelor's degrees, so you'd have to go to Fresno State or someplace like it. You need a 4-year university. So you need to look at Fresno State's website and look at their education program, okay? The program that prepares you to be a teacher. Actually, it's elementary school where you would major in education to teach K through 6. To teach junior high and high school, you'd need to major in a field. So if you wanted to teach math, you'd need to major in math. If you wanted to teach history, you'd need to major in history. Okay, so you need to go to the programs where you can get that bachelor's degree. If you don't want a bachelor's degree, maybe you want a 2-year degree of some sort, maybe you want to be in emergency services, or maybe you want to be a dental hygienist. All wonderful and useful jobs, and we love you for them. Then find 2 college programs, because you need to compare them, so you need the one from Fresno City College, if that's what you're enrolled in, and something else to compare it with, maybe something in the Bay Area or something down in Southern California. 2 programs, it doesn't matter if you're going to them or not. Just get them so that you can compare them. You need the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics webpage on jobs in your field, and you'll be glad that you looked, because there's all kinds of really cool information that you may not have known about your job, such as projected growth of the job in the future. So that's a good place to look. And yes, you can go straight into Google and you can type in Bureau of Labor Statistics, firefighter, and you will find that page. Okay, you need web pages or trade journal articles that give information to young professionals in your field. For example, let's say you want to be an engineer. You will find that there are engineers who are kind enough to have made a web page that tells you stuff about what you need to do to prepare to become an engineer and what types of engineer you can prepare to be, because there's all kinds. So anyway, yes, web pages or trade journal articles that give information to young professionals in your field, right? The up-and-coming people like yourself who want to become surveyors or lawyers or what have you. And they will give you advice, and it will be very helpful. These must be written by reputable professionals in your field, so you're going to look for an author's name. They don't always have them, but see if you can find one, and if you can, then you want to find out who that person is. If there's not a person's name, there's going to be an About Us page, which will usually give you information about who these people are and why they have the page. And you want to verify the credentials of these people. Okay. You have to have in-text citations and a works cited page in MLA style. So you're going to want to be looking into the OWL at Purdue for that information. You need to use your textbook, They Say, I Say. It has templates, right? Parts of sentences where you fill in blanks. Use those templates to introduce sources and put them into conversations. What does it mean to put them into conversations? Well, basically, you're going to have a conversation where you compare and contrast the duties and the qualifications, shall we say, for 2 job ads in your field. And the conversation will be something along the lines of, while employer X would like candidates to have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, employer Y only wants applicants to have a bachelor's degree, something like that. So the easiest way to put sources into a conversation is to compare and contrast them, say what is similar and what is different. And that will kind of do it for most of this. You're going to use the parts and the organization given below. Okay, there we go. You're required to use in-text citations. A portion of this essay is going to include your search results. Okay, so you have to talk about your sources in this paper. What else should we say? Here we go. This is an I searched style of an essay. It's about you, so you're going to be writing in the first person. You're going to be saying I. Actually, practically everything you write for my class is going to be in I, and it is fine if you have been told in the past that you're never supposed to use I. There continue to be a few academic fields where you're never supposed to use I. However, in the last 25, 35 years, increasingly, more and more academics in a variety of fields are using I, and it is okay. It is not a terrible thing. It can actually end up having, you'll end up having much more clear and interesting writing if you use I. And if some other teacher tells you at some other point in your life you can't use I, well then, my goodness, then you go back to using the third person, and it's okay. Okay, the topic is how college can help you achieve your college goals. Your answer to this question is your thesis. So college is going to help me become a dental hygienist by offering me these opportunities and this instruction. Boom, there you go. Okay, the search story. You do want to tell your story. You want to talk about why your research was personally important for you. You're likely to find at least one or two things, if not a lot of things, about your job field that you didn't already know. So that's how you want to introduce this. You do want to say something about what you knew before, and you want to let readers know what you wanted to learn through this research. Okay, so you're going to sort of tell your research story, and you're going to share with readers the big picture of your most significant findings. Where a lot of students fail is their big picture really consists of having discovered that you make more money if you work in San Francisco than if you work in... Think more about what day-to-day life will be. What kinds of experiences you have, how you will be able to participate in the world, offer service, what kind of support you might be able to get in your job. Go deeper, because you're not in the end going to apply to a job in San Francisco just because it pays more. It won't mathematically work out for you. Okay, search results. You're going to describe your results and give support. Support is the evidence you find in your research. You're going to use your finding statements to orient the reader. You're going to say things like, I found that, whatever it is that you discovered. You're going to develop your ideas with direct quotations, paraphrases, and summaries. Okay, so sometimes you're going to use exact language from your source, and when you do, you need quotation marks. Mostly, you should probably paraphrase and summarize, though. You don't want to have big chunks of quotation in this paper. It's a small paper. You probably can do without any quotations, really, at all. Maybe just one, maybe just two. Everything else should kind of summarize. You need to cite your information from your sources. You need to identify the names of the web pages where you looked. You need to not put any URLs anywhere, because that's not what goes in a formal paper. But the names, the titles of web pages, that kind of thing. No URLs, no dot anythings go in there. And then your reflections, what you learned, assess yourself in relation to those results. What do you think you're going to need to qualify? What do you need to do with yourself in the future to prepare? How might your experience or what you learned affect your choices or opportunities in the future? Have you changed your mind about anything? Have you learned that you need to take classes that you didn't know you had to take? That sort of thing. What's changing your pathway after you've done this? And then, of course, how you're going to be graded. You'll be graded on the basis of how you treat your sources, so it's super important that you use every source that's required, and it's super important that you cite the sources in text, and that you have a works cited page at the end with all of the proper stuff in there. Focus, you need a good thesis or hypothesis that develops the whole essay. You need good topic sentences. It would be a good idea to use questions to guide your readers, like, or even statements of wondering, like, I wonder if, or I wonder how. You need to develop the idea nicely, not just repeat in order to fill up the word count, but actually go into details, give examples, create potential scenarios. Really think about, if you wanted to be in a program in, I don't know, environmental studies, and you wanted to attend UC Davis, what would it be like to go there and do that? What is in their course offerings that would help you, So go to those department web pages and look at what the classes are, and see what you would be studying. Okay, and of course use of the three appeals, which we're going to go into further, but basically the three appeals, they're Aristotle's three appeals, and they're ways in which you help the reader to see things the way that you do. Okay, that is good enough for now. You will get more information on this stuff in future bits in the class. So enjoy, good luck, and I hope you find the process of writing Essay 1 fruitful.